Oh, toot the fruit. Hey everyone, how's it going? It's the Flying Pig here on Flying Pig United. Absolutely cashtastic. United have just lost to Juventus at home in the Champions League group stages. We've lost 1-0 to Juventus. And I have to say, we got absolutely dominated, really. Fair play to Juventus. They just totally outclassed us. They are a great outfit. I was expecting to see more from Manchester United, though. Where's the creativity in this side? Going in at half-time, they've had 70% possession of the ball. I know that doesn't always translate into chances, but in that case it did. We barely created anything throughout the game. Juventus, much the better team. They've got a better set of players. They've got a better team ethic. They've got a much better defence. Our defence, compared to their defence, it's not even comparable. I actually thought we defended well tonight. I'm not saying that. I'm saying in general, on paper, their defence is much stronger. And in the end, Manchester United just couldn't offer enough to compete with Juventus out there tonight. They've got quality players. They've got Dybala, who had chance after chance and could have, had 2 or 3 in the first half going into half-time. They've got Cristiano Ronaldo coming back into this game, coming back to Old Trafford. Of course, he's still the best player in the world. You've got to be worried when you're facing Cristiano Ronaldo. It was actually a quiet game for him, really. We did a reasonable job of containing him. And, he didn't look as good as he has done, certainly, even against us in the past. So that was probably his worst performance against Manchester United. Still bloody good, though. Sorry, I've just got to stick my charger in here. So to everybody joining me, thanks so much for stopping by. I'm going to get a bit deeper into this shocking game of football, I must say. I thought Manchester United didn't create anything at all. We've got some sort of Frankenstein's monster wannabe up front called Romelu Lukaku, who I don't know how he's actually in the Manchester United side. Based on form, you'd have to say he should be nowhere near the side. And you can see why, because tonight he was poor. I know he didn't really get the service. That's the problem with Lukaku. Didn't really get the service? That's the problem with Lukaku. Can you really criticise Lukaku if he's not really getting the service? But when he did get the service, not up to the standard that he needs to be at. No way near. This is the Champions League coming up against Juventus. And we've got Frankenstein's monster up top there, doing terribly. So I'm worried for Romelu Lukaku. He's in a real bad run of form. We know what he's capable of doing. He's not this lovely, technical player that maybe we were hoping for at Manchester United. He's a big lummox. He's an absolutely huge lummox. He's Emil Heskey's Belgian cousin. He's an absolute is Romelu Lukaku. Do you know what I mean? So he's not really my type of Manchester United player, because I like a more technical player. He is good. He's technical for a big man, but that's for a big man. And if you're not going to play to the big man's strengths and give him a lot of service and whip balls into his head and, knock it up to him so he can hold the ball up and he can actually do that well, then it's pointless having one anyway. So to me, Romelu Lukaku needs to sort his life out big time. Don't understand it. 25 goals a year at Everton, comes to United. He's absolutely shit. What is that all about? Anyway, I'm not going to just jump on Romelu Lukaku. It's not just him, this performance. I actually thought we defended quite well today. I'm just going to say it. Even though we lost the game 1-0, defensively, we didn't have too many holes in our game. I thought Smalling did a good job today. Considering the players that they're coming up against, the likes of Ronaldo, the likes of Dybala, I think they did a very good job. I think Lindelof today probably had one of his best games in a Manchester United shirt for us. And considering the occasion, considering the opposition, fair play to you, Victor Lindelof. I want to see more of that, pal. That was a good defensive performance from you. Just unfortunately for you, the attacking players in our side, or the creative players on our side, are absolutely fantastic and couldn't create anything for the majority of the game. We had a few chances. Yeah, Pogba's at the post. Pogba was okay today. Who were the other good players? I thought Luke Shaw's had a pretty positive game. Good game from him. But yeah, I wasn't blown away by any individual performances out there tonight, apart from maybe that of Victor Lindelof. Of course, David De Gea is always a Goliath for us in between the sticks. So you've got to give him a lot of credit. Let me know what you guys think about it. Who was your man of the match today for Manchester United? I'd love to know your thoughts and opinions. If you're a Juventus fan in here, I know we do have a couple of Juve fans that randomly tune into these videos. Congratulations to you. I think Juventus have got a really good chance in this Champions League this year because they do have quality. They are a quality side. They are dominant over in Serie A. I think they've won 10 games in a row, their best start to a Serie A campaign this year. So they're a very strong side. You can't argue with that. We've just come up against a really good Juventus team tonight. We're lacking. We are not a really good Manchester United side. We are not the United sides when we played Juventus and we ripped them apart, or when we had Keno inspiring things and Giggsy inspiring things. No. This is a shell of a Manchester United team. It really is, compared to the last. I was just thinking, the last couple of times we played Juventus, I think we won 3-0 last time we played them. We were much a better team than Juventus. And even before that, going back in the day in the late 90s, when Juventus had an unbelievable team, we could compete. We could always compete with Juventus because we are Manchester United, one of the best clubs in England. But at the moment, we're mid-table. We're a mid-table team, and it shows. They're dominating in Serie A. They've got unbelievable players. They just bought Cristiano Ronaldo. They're a top-quality side. So, I didn't expect much different from the game tonight. I hate to say that, a bit pessimistic, but I thought coming up against Juventus with the way things are at the moment, we've not been good at home at Old Trafford at all. And I just thought Ronaldo coming back, he'll want to prove a point, although he was quite quiet tonight in general. But I knew it was going to be a tough night at the office for us, and indeed it was. Juventus are a quality side. They got the better of us. That's just the way it is. To everybody joining me right now on this live stream, please do me a favour, chuck a like on this video. Let me know your thoughts and opinions on the game. I'm going to get deep into your questions and stuff right now. We've got a super chat here from Gongshi. How's it going, Gongshi? Long time no speak. He says, pack your bags, Portuguese Mr. Bean. What the hell was that? Where's the passion and energy? Lucky it was only 1-0. Yeah, you're obviously not too much of a fan of Jose Mourinho either at the moment, because you have to remember, although we are coming up against a quality side, you could also set the side up to be a lot more entertaining and attacking for the United fans who, let's face it, if we're going to lose the game, let's go out in style. Let's at least have a real go at them, attack, get balls forward, get runners in behind, try and get Mata on the ball as much as possible, creating things and putting them these lovely through balls. But we didn't really set up like that again. Jose trying to do his tactical masterclass defensive shite that nobody really wants to see, and hopefully nick a draw or something at home. I mean, come on, Jose, let's see a little bit more bottle from you, pal. You're fighting for your job. I want to see a lot more bottle from the Portuguese Mr. Bean, no doubt about it, Gongshi. He's a good manager. He is. His record speaks for itself. He's very tactically astute. But I don't understand why he can't just say to the lads, look, we've got to get out. We've got to attack, create. We didn't create anything tonight. Why is that? Because we are at home. He is fighting for his job. It's a fixture where it's not the worst. It's not a travesty if we lose against Juventus, because Juventus, with the squad and the players and the team that they are, and especially with the start that they've had to the season, are an unbelievable side. So it's not like we're really expected with where we are at the moment and how we're doing at the moment with the players we've got at the moment and the Mr. Bean Portuguese that we've got at the moment, expected to beat them. So at least bloody go for it. At least try and score some bloody goals at Old Trafford and give something to the fans. But no, it was a bit dreary. Defensively, we were sound. But other than that, I think, that's the only positive from the game, really. We got bossed and outplayed in terms of possession. They defended us off the park any chance that we had, and we didn't really have the players capable of creating anything, and we certainly didn't have the tactical system in place to allow the players the freedom to even try and do that. That's my personal opinion of it, and thank you, Gungshi. You obviously feel very similar to me. Dab O comments and says Rashford was trash too. Yeah, absolutely. Gashford, he's had a poor season. Want to see more from you. It's all well and good playing this, I'm a young lad card, mate, and I'm going to be better in the future, and I've got loads of potential. You've got to do it now, pal. You've got to do it now, Marcus. We've seen what you can do. You've got bags of ability and potential and ability right now. But if that's going to translate into you being a top quality player, then consistency has to come into your game. And I know we're playing Juventus, but I'm not talking about this Juventus game. I'm talking about the whole season. He's gone invisible. We've seen Martial do that start the season, but he's turned it around. He's shown a bit of form. He's shown a bit of tenacity recently, and put in some good performances. But players like Lukaku, players like Rashford, it's been a while since we've seen a very good performance from them, isn't it? And maybe tonight against Juventus, in a game where maybe the pressure's off a little bit because we're coming up against such an opposition where we're not really expected to win with how gash we're doing, maybe that would have been the sort of game where you could really stake a claim to this United starting 11 and maybe just give yourself a bit of a boost. But either way, incapable of doing that. Big D comments and says, I'm sick of this bullshit. Jose has to go and bring his signings with him. Oh, thing is, Lindelof is one of Jose's signings. I thought he's performed really well tonight. You can't argue with that. In terms of the other signings that have come in under Jose, it's a very mixed bag, isn't it? Pogba, I think maybe that deal was sort of arranged as Jose was coming in, but you know, yeah, Lukaku, he's not lived up to it. £80 million, hundreds of thousands of pounds a week, not lived up to it. Jose Mourinho signings, not working out for him. It's all well and good taking United in this different direction. You've got this big Emil Heskey-esque lummox up top, but the system has to work. We have to get results. That has to translate into success. And if it doesn't, mate, then get on your Portuguese bike, son. Anyway, thank you very much for your questions, guys. Keep getting them in. I'm going to stick around for a little bit today and just get into it. I mean, I am annoyed. I am genuinely annoyed after that performance, even though it's Juventus and they are a great team. And going into the game, I was expecting to probably lose. I did actually think that we'd put up a bit more of a fight. We would show Europe, we would show all of the eyes around the world watching this epic game of football that Manchester United can still play some bloody football. And even if we don't win the game, we could score some goals, we could rip apart a top quality defence, and we could show everyone that we are still Manchester United. But no, we didn't create anything. Too defensive. Bit mind-numbing, wasn't it? Fair play to Juventus. They controlled the game, they dominated the game, bossed the game, come to Old Trafford and pulled our pants down. It's a calamity, really. It is. I know that's our first loss in the group stage this year in the Champions League and everything, but, we should still be looking to progress from this group. But even so, the performance was not good enough. Forget the result. The performance was not good enough. We needed to show a lot more bottle, a lot more balls in terms of the managers, the players, the tactics, everything, and really go for it. Just like we have done for pretty much every other game. We've been playing out of necessity in the last couple of games. Chelsea game, we were unlucky to lose that game, I must say. Second half, we were great. How we drew that game, rather. I do not know how we lost the lead in that game. It's a calamity. Now, and the Newcastle game, why are we having to start so poorly, start so slowly, start without the bottle and guile and spirit and tenacity? Why do we have to go down in games? Why do we have to go seriously behind before we're willing to go to our plan B? Why can't we just have a plan A that works? Why can't we do that? Like a creative attacking plan. If you look at Pep Guardiola's Manchester City side, who battered Shakhtar Donetsk away from home tonight, by the way, tough fixture, went there, battered them. And if you look at Kloppy over at Liverpool, now they play pretty much the same sort of football week in, week out. You know what you're going to get with them. You sort of know what players he's going to select. You know the tactics. You know the end goal. The end goal is to create attack, score more goals than the opposition. That is the end goal. And of course, if you can keep the opposition from scoring, then that's a bonus. That's fantastic. But you never see Pep Guardiola going, oh, no, this is not working, and just let's get a long ball plan B. No, it doesn't happen like that. Same with Kloppy. He's got this attacking philosophy, which is very, very regimented and similar each week, and it's very expressive at the same time. It allows its players the freedoms to be able to go out there, but you know what you're getting. That's the point I'm making. With Jose's teams, you don't know what you're getting in terms of the selections, even in terms of the formations from week to week, and certainly in terms of the tactics. You don't know what we're going to be doing. Actually, you do. It's always going to be slow and defensively shite to start with, at least. And then if we go down, then we'll go to plan B, which is let's play football. That's plan B. Oh, crikey. Piku8 comments and says, why no subs? Yeah, I don't really know that if he's just saving the substitutes. Maybe he's just, next game, he's just going to drop every single one of those players. So he didn't need to save their legs. He didn't need to take them off. He just thought, I'm just going to run them into the ground. I'm going to play the under-18s next time. How much worse could it be? Oh, but yeah, I don't get that from Jose. It is a strange one. You've got to be making some substitutions, man. I mean, maybe he was just trying to get that continuity into the side, trying to see them grow in the game, because that can always happen. The team's been together. You sometimes don't want to mix up the understanding that the players are built up in that particular game against the opposition. But I certainly think we could have done with it tonight. We needed to inject something into the game. We weren't creating anything at all. It was a subpar performance from us in every department. So, apart from defensively, like I say. Nick the Red in the house comments and says Lukaku is about as much good as a one-legged man in an ass-kicking contest at the moment. Well, do you know what? A one-legged man in an ass-kicking contest could be quite good. Have you never seen the WWE where they'll do all these flying drop kicks and stuff? You don't need two legs to do one of them. You just hop and then you try and get horizontal. And he could probably kick you in the ass pretty well. But no, I get what you're saying. He's useless. He's absolutely useless. This season, anyway. If you look back to when we signed Lukaku, pretty much say most Manchester United fans were excited of the proposition and the prospect of seeing him play in a red shirt at Old Trafford. because he's this big beast who's proven in the Premier League and has scored loads and loads of goals for whatever club he's played at. But comes to Old Trafford and he's shit. It doesn't really make sense. I don't know. I think it's a case of maybe giving these players just much too soon. It's like if you give them the best contract they're ever going to get in their career, now, what have they got left to prove? What have they got left to earn? You know, so I think there's all sorts of problems at Manchester United stemming from the owners, stemming from the board, and of course Woodward and Mourinho is obviously the man in charge of getting this team performing and getting out there on the pitch, winning games and not creating absolutely anything against Juventus and stuff like that. That's all on Jose, to be fair, and the players. So there's problems around Manchester United from the top down. It's not just a case of it's Jose, it's not just a case of it's the players. But I think tonight, you know, maybe I'm just being a little bit harsh, but I think tonight we just definitely should have created more and tried to be a lot more attacking. We should have done, because what have we got to lose? We might have well have gone for it and tried to create more. But you have to say that Juventus are a classy side. They were always a threat going forward against us. And defensively, they were solid as a rock. You know, they got players like Chiellini, Barzagli, or was it Bonucci? But they're absolute, some sort of Spanish, Italian sounding name. Do you know what I mean? It's ended in Ini, usually. And they're very, very solid. Some of the best defenders across Europe, and they showed that today. They showed why that they've been on this incredible run in Serie A at the start of this season. And Ronaldo coming back into the side. You know, they're a great team. You know, I hold my hands up to them. Fair play to you, Juve. You're a great team. You come to Old Trafford and you've dominated us, really. Controlled the game. You made us look bang average, really. And that's just from them being a very good side. United actually did okay tonight. You know, we did do some good things. We just didn't do enough of them. We didn't create enough. Defensively, we were good, as I say. Griffo Chaz comments and says, think United should try Rashford. Hey, Griffo Chaz, how's it going, my friend? Long time no speak. Hope you're well. He says, Martial and Sanchez in a front three. Try Rashford, Martial and Sanchez in a front three. Yeah, I mean, I'd like to see somebody knock Lukaku out and put him on the bench, because he's not doing it. I'd like to see maybe an opportunity given to Sanchez up there. Remember that season when Sanchez scored the most goals he did in a season at Arsenal? It's because they were using him in a more advanced sort of striker position. And if you did have Sanchez there, he's a very technical player. You know, he's not the physical player like Lukaku is, if that's how Jose wants to play, but he is a technically gifted player. He is a great finisher. He is a finesse player. And he is a match winner, or at least he was when he was at those shite bags at Arsenal. But at United so far, not really done it. But he's not really been gifted those opportunities in those positions, maybe in the scenarios that he would like, and in the areas that he'd like. Like a lot of our players haven't. There's been a lot of cases of that since Jose's been manager. He does have a tendency of trying to put round pegs in square holes, or the other way around. Either way, he can't do it. Do you know what I mean? So he does that. You know, Pogba. He's tried to get him to be this sort of more defensive-minded midfielder, when Pogba wants to be this free-roaming midfielder who can move forward and be playing a more advanced position. He's done it with Juan Mata. He's played Juan Mata out wide. Juan Mata is like a very small Pinocchio-sized man. You know, he's not really, a runner. He's more of your technical artist. He's that sort of a player. And so I believe his best position is number 10. You can see that when he does play in the number 10 position, he creates a lot of things. But generally, you know, Jose does mix it around a bit too much for his own good. So, yeah, I totally agree with you. James Arnold with a super chat. Thank you very much for your super chat here, James Arnold. How are you doing? He says a massive overhaul is needed from top to bottom. Yeah, I mean, you're right. You know, if we could all pull together and get a new sort of supporters group together and take over Manchester United, I would love to, because I think it stems from the owners. They come in, they bought it with debt money. They're servicing that debt. They are basically running United as a business. And okay, they've spent money over the years, but this last transfer window, Jose didn't get the centre-back he was desperately wanting. Jose didn't get the winger he was desperately wanting. And why is that? Why are we not willing to invest that money when all the other teams in the Premier League, or most of the other teams in the Premier League, are going out there spending big bucks, but we're not prepared to do that to plug goals? The owners, the board, they've got a lot to answer for. It really annoys me, because Jose wasn't backed financially by the board in the last transfer window. I'm sorry, it's not. I know he signed a couple of centre-backs and stuff in the past, and Lindelof played well tonight, but he needs a bit more investment, needs a bit more help. And without that, I don't think I think he was already starting this season on a negative, because he was not happy about the squad. He wanted improvements. And of course, with the pre-season we had, that just backs that up. We've got a super chat here from Jimmy Anderson. How's it going, Jimmy Anderson? He's sent me 20 sec. Not sure what that is, but I'll take it, Jimmy. Thanks very much for stopping by and commenting. He says, lucky that Valencia and Young Boys played 1-1. Yeah, did they? I didn't even know that. So, yeah, I mean, that's the thing with United. This group stage, this Champions League, it's very important for us, Jimmy, because with the Premier League campaign, the way it's going, we're sat down in the mid-table positions. And even right now, it's looking like quite a challenge to even get into the Europa League spots this season. You know, certainly top four is looking like a considerable margin off when you've got players like, or teams like Spurs who are just a couple of points off the lead, and teams like Arsenal who've just bashed in loads of wins on the trot and are up there now, and City, how dominant they are and how good they are again tonight, dominant and good, and they just look so solid as a rock, don't they? And then Liverpool, the Scousers, whipping it up with copy, aren't they? The freaking Scousers. There's something seriously wrong. I don't see us really creeping into that top four this season. Based on the start of this campaign, we're already miles behind. The squad doesn't seem to have consistency. We seem to only play football when we're down in games. The mentality, the philosophy at the club, there's a lot going wrong at Manchester United. But thank you very much for your super chat there, mate. You're an absolute legend. Mr. Armes comments and says, what's in the mug? Well, I'd love to say it was a nice 3 points in the Champions League tonight, but it's not. It's just a cup of coffee, as you do at like 11 o'clock at night. To get myself buzzed up after that game, it was depressing. Big Poops 928 comments and says, Mr. Pig, greetings from Arizona, USA. Thanks so much for stopping by, man. I've been to Arizona. I went there 4 years ago on a road trip across America. I liked Arizona. If you like arid deserts, then you'll like it. No, I did actually really like it. It was cool. It was different. There's like no place I've ever been to around here. Anyway, put it that way. Thanks so much for stopping by. Gungshi comments, Fred or Pereira or even Chong could have done something if Jose had the gumption to make some changes. Yeah, you're right. I don't really get it. Why did he do that? You know, unless he's going to make wholesale changes in the next game, and he's just, like I say, not even cared about them running themselves into the ground, then I don't get that. But based on the squad that he put out, it being one of the best selections he could have made, you know, it seems like a bit of an unnecessary strain on the players on the pitch. But not only that, as you say, the change was needed. We needed somebody to come on and we needed to change something to try and create some chances because we were creating nothing. So why would Jose not be prepared to do that, be prepared to bring a Pereira on or somebody like that? The game's already lost. You know, at least allow somebody with fresh legs to come on with a different sort of emphasis on the game, different outlook on the game, and maybe they could just change something. Maybe they could just do something. But no, wasn't the case tonight. I just don't get that at all. Evil Befall comments and says, Lukaku becoming the next Fellaini. Well, they are Belgian brothers in arms, aren't they? You know, they've got a lot in common. They're big, they're lummoxy. They both have the coordination of a newborn baby deer, and they're both big units. And they're both pretty bang average when it comes to technical ability with the football. Do you know what I mean? They've got some physical talents, no doubt about it. Their hair is quite interesting, but other than that, you know, they're not the most gifted of players, or at least not in a United shirt. Stick them in a Belgian shirt, and they're pretty good, you know? It's just the way it is at United at the moment. It's not happening. Oh, Zenith in here. We've got a Juve fan. I knew some of them would creep out the woodwork here. Zenith or Zenith. How's it going again? He says, have some of that, pig. Fair enough, yeah, I'll take it on the chin, mate. It was a good performance by Juventus, solid as a rock. They dominated us, outclassed us at Old Trafford. What do you want me to say? Get out of here! Get out of here now! Another super chat here from Gungshi. He comments and says, it's not that we lost to Juventus that bothers me. It's the continuous negative style of play. Where's the testicular fortitude? Totally agree. I've been saying that in my last few videos, that Jose needs to show a bit of balls, show some Portuguese cojones to the world right now. You know, he did that when he got up off that bench and chased after that laddie guy the other day, but he hasn't done it tonight. He wasn't prepared to be a bit more gung-ho and set the lads up in a more attacking, you know, free way and try and get them in behind more and try and get forward balls in more. Jose likes to get hold of the ball. He likes to slow it down, sidey, work it around, and you know, I don't think it's good enough. I want to see a more attacking style of football, as do a lot more Manchester United fans, and especially right now, with his job on the line, with pressure on, with the fans, you know, so disheartened at the moment with the football that we're playing. It's not just the fact that we're sat in the mid-table, which is absolutely gash-tastic. It's terrible. Worst start we've had since 2001. You know, it's not just that, or something like that. Maybe not quite that. But it's also the fact the style of football that we're playing is just so mind-numbingly dull. And yeah, we're playing a good side tonight, but Manchester United of old used to come up against Juventus and put in a much better account of that. I know that's years ago. It's a totally different generation, but the fact of the matter is we are supposed to be a top European club. Right now, we're nowhere near, are we? We're miles off being a top European club right now, based on the players that we have, especially in certain key positions like the back line, and also based on how we're playing, based on the results, based on the performances. We're nowhere near a team like Juventus are right now, where they're just steamrolling Serie A and come to Old Trafford and let Manchester United barely have a look in. You know, fair play to Juve. They really did a number on us tonight. Thank you so much for your super chat there, Gungshi. Again, you're an absolute legend. It's been a while since you've been on here, but make sure you do keep tuning in, man. Always much appreciated to speak to you, and everybody else who does tune in and comment. You're a bunch of legends for getting involved. There's a lot of super chats and a lot of messages coming through here. I will try and read them all. If I missed any of them, I apologise, but I will try and get round to them before I go. Let's get on with it. The Wookiee commenter says Fred benched 52 million. I mean, we haven't seen a lot from Fred really recently, have we? You know, I think Jose is a strange one. He does strange things. He makes strange selections. He benches players at strange times, and he selects players at strange times. He's a strange dude. You know what I mean? Jose Mourinho is a very strange person. It has to be said. Bradley Wills comments and says, Pig, why you always got your hat on now? Where's the Barnet at? Yeah, the Barnet, can you see it poking through there? Oh, shit. The Barnet, it's under there, but I need to get it attended to. But I did say, though, and I'm going to, I think I'm going to stick to it. I am not going to get my hair cut until Manchester United are in the top 4 positions of the Premier League, which could be about 5 years, or at least a year. So I think you're going to be seeing a lot more of this hat, because me and long hair doesn't really suit. But I just can't be bothered to get my hair cut at the moment. I really cannot. I'm just wearing hats. You know, it's getting colder outside. I'm just rocking beanies and rocking hats at the moment. And I don't care about my hair. But, you know, you make a salient point. Farhan Farid comments and says, it seems Moyes is managing United with a mask on. Is he really, though? Because if you were going to choose a mask and manage a football team, would you choose Jose's face as your mask? I'm not so sure. You know, it's more likely that Mr. Bean is wearing David Moyes' mask. That's what it sort of looks like. Alex Rudd with a super chat here. Oh, shit. He says, since my super chat got lost, here is another one. Crikey. Well, I'm just going to try and go back. Thank you so much, Alex Rudd, for that, man. Thanks for stopping by. Always good to see you around here, you dirty gooner. But thanks so much for stopping by, as you always do. Sorry, there's quite a few coming through tonight, and I've missed a whole bunch of them. So sorry about that. Oh, here we go. I've got you. He says, usually you play more conservative on the road. Yeah, I know. I mean, I don't get why Jose has us playing so conservatively at Old Trafford. If you look at this season, God, it's been dreary. God, it's been drab. The way we have gone about it. He really is just a complete, boring Portuguese Mr. Bean, isn't he? Actually, no, he's not, because at least Mr. Bean was funny. You know, Jose's not even humorous, really. He's just, you know, at the moment, I think he's basically losing it. I think he's had an incredible managerial career. I wanted him to be a success at Manchester United, but I don't agree with the style of play. I don't agree with the performances the players are putting in out there. And that all does stem from the manager. I mean, maybe not all of it, but a lot of it's on Jose. A lot of it is the tactics. A lot of it is the system. A lot of it is the controversy, the negativity behind the scenes, the selections, the changing of positions of random players. You know, nobody knows their job, their role 100%. It goes back to what I was saying about Pep Guardiola and Kloppy, the way they play. They've got this plan A, and they never really revert to a plan B. It's always plan A, and plan A is good enough because plan A is attacking and effective. And they've got the players to be able to play plan A. Now, United, we've got some of those players. I think they're very good going forward, actually. We've got the players to be a good attacking outfit. Defensively, that's where our problem lies. So why is Jose getting us more defensive when he could be setting us up to be a lot more attacking, and the style, the philosophy, everything being a lot more attacking? If it was that case, then I think you'd see a lot more success out of Manchester United, just as you have done in the second half of the Newcastle game and the second half of the Chelsea game, where we went for it and we attacked. And last season, it was much the same. We were defensive generally throughout the season. And then when we played City and went 2-0 down in the derby, second half performance, we come back, we scored 3 goals, and it was an amazing attacking performance. Play to your strengths, Jose. Why are we not playing to our strengths? We've got attacking talents out there on the pitch. Lukaku is a beast. If you feed him, he will score. At least history dictates that. Look at what he has done previously in the Premier League. Does that just all go out the window because he's suddenly at Old Trafford? It doesn't make any sense. He needs to be fed. He needs to be supplied. I'm going on about him being a complete 2 left-footed Frankenstein's monster, and that's true. But at the same time, he's not getting the service that's required to be a top-quality goal scorer and score 30 goals a season for a club like Manchester United. He's not. And that comes from the style of play, the negativity, the defensiveness, the slowness. We need a lot more fluidity, a lot more tempo to our play, a lot more runners in behind, a lot more balls in behind, a lot more, getting the wingers down there and trying to whip a ball into big Romelu up there. If you're not going to play that way, then, get Sanchez in there, or somebody who's more technically gifted, who might be able to work his magic in the final third, or play Rashford up there and try and supply him with through balls and stuff like that. I mean, he's got a lot to answer for because he's at this club. It's a great club. It is. It might not seem like we're all that revered at the moment around Europe. Everyone's bantering us, aren't they? Everyone's saying how bad we are because we've had a terrible season so far. It's true. We really have done. But we are still one of the greatest clubs in the world. We didn't look out of place in that game tonight against Juventus. I know we got outclassed and they dominated us and we barely created anything. But they didn't batter us 5-0. It wasn't a humiliation. It was more a hurtful feeling that I had, which is that we're really not that mega European club anymore, like a Juventus or like a Barca or like I was going to say Real Madrid then, but they're shit at the moment, aren't they? That's the only bloody good thing going on around Europe at the moment. But yeah, teams like that, Bayern Munich and stuff like that, Manchester United were always in that conversation, but not anymore. Not right now anyway. Not right now, because you've got to get the results. You've got to be able to compete with teams like Juventus out there and create things, and we weren't able to do that. I'm just going to go read a couple more comments and then I'm going to wrap this video up. To everybody who's tuning in here, we've got 350 legends in here and a couple of Scousers and a couple of Juve fans, but mostly legends in here. So do us a favour, legend. If you're a legend, chuck a like on this video. Do me a favour. You can also give it a share on social media. It would be much appreciated. But genuinely, thanks for tuning in when you do. Thanks for getting involved with these comments. I know I do generally read out some super chat comments that come up because obviously they do take up my whole screen and sometimes I miss them and sometimes obviously there's lots of people who are not super chatting, who are not sitting on a cushion in an ivory tower. And I try to respond to as many of you people as well, you peasants out there, try to respond to as many of you guys as possible. But obviously I can't respond to anybody. There is a lot of people getting involved, but I really do enjoy interacting with you guys. So make sure you stick around. And after this video has been published to YouTube, you can comment on it. I'll respond to you. So will somebody else, probably calling you a bender. That's how it goes on this channel. And we can all have a party, can't we? We've got a comment here from an Italian man who says, I'm not a Juve fan, I'm a Napoli fan. Oh, thanks for sharing that piece of information there, pal. But yeah, no, okay. What is this? What is this? Are the Italians just coming in here now saying, haha, you got battered by an Italian club? Is that what it is? Arrivederci, my friend. No. Right, I'm going to leave it there, and just a few shout-outs at the end here with people commenting. Farhan Farid, he comments, the Man United board is to blame because they didn't give the money to buy players. Just what I was saying earlier, totally agree. Fadley Mode, was United playing in Turin just now? It seemed like it set up very defensively, very negatively, not like we're at home. Why? We're afraid! We've got a Portuguese Mr. Bean in charge who's afraid to play football, man! That's what it is. Death Wish, Robert Herrick, Gory Yogi, TFCHD. Thank you to everybody for tuning into this live match reaction. I'm gutted. To sum it up, we were dominated and outclassed by a really good Juventus team, but I needed to see more balls from this United team. Jose, get your bollocks out. I want to see them for the next game. That's not literally. I just mean, let's show a lot more balls in the next game. Let's go for it. Let's attack. Let's try and get at teams. I've been saying this for the last few games. He is fighting for his job here. He's fighting for his job, and he's got United playing shite football, really, not creating enough. Not even really in this game against Juventus. I'm sorry. I know I said we did an okay account of ourselves really defensively and stuff, but it's not good enough. We need to be creating more. We've got attacking talents. Play to our strengths, Jose. Get some cojones, Mr. Mourinho. Where's your cojones, pal? I want to see them. Right. I'm going to wrap it up here. Thanks so much for tuning in. I think my hat's gone wonky. My hair's poking out. I'm sweating under these lights. I'm going to go. I'm pissed off. Gashtastic, says Mr. Armez. I totally agree with you. It's a gashtastic performance in the end. Gashtastic result. But the performance more than anything. Dean Nelson, Gungshi, you're a legend as ever. James Arnold, Alex Rudd, Rincon, everybody else who tuned in and sent in messages. Much appreciated. You're a bunch of legends. I'll see you very soon. I'll be doing another video tomorrow, which is my new midweek podcast, so make sure you do keep a lookout for that. Not only will there be a Monday analysis episode where I do a live video podcast, just chatting cod shit like this after the weekend football, but there'll now be one on a Wednesday as well, or maybe a Thursday actually. Wednesday or Thursday might make more sense, just to cover the aftermath of all the Champions League fixtures midweek and any other football news going on and stuff like that. So make sure you keep a lookout for that either tomorrow or Thursday. We'll get a little routine. We'll start getting it more regimented, lads and lasses. Like, subscribe, comment. You can follow me on social media at Mr. Flying Pig HD. I'll see you very soon. You've been watching Flying Pig United with me, the Flying Pig. Take it easy. Have yourselves a good one. And United, sort your fucking lives out.